So I want to tell you guys about an experience that I had a few days ago, and this video is not clickbait. This video is not meant to do anything other than talk to you guys and maybe like remind you guys of something that I think we all need to be reminded of every once in a while. This is definitely a bit more of a serious video. It's very different from what is usually on my channel, but I wanted to tell you all a story of something that happened to me in New York City a few days ago. And I guess we'll just start now. So a couple days ago, I was going downtown to see a friend's new apartment, and I was in the 14th Street subway station. For those who know New York at all, for those who've ever been to New York City, I was in the 14th Street subway station, and I got out of my train and I started walking to where I knew the nearest exit was, when all of a sudden I saw this giant crowd of people and emergency response doctors all huddled around in a circle. And so out of like obvious curiosity at what everybody was staring at, because there were a lot of like normal civilians there too, I stopped and I saw what was going on, and immediately I was just heartbroken. There was a homeless man on the floor. He was obviously homeless. He was in tattered clothes. He didn't have any shoes on, and he was unconscious, and the emergency response doctors were at that point trying to revive him. One of my greatest fears that I don't think I've ever talked about on this channel is death. I have been very lucky in the sense that I have really not dealt with a lot of death in my life, but it is something that has always scared me a little bit, and I know I'm probably not the only one. I'm definitely not the only one, but it has always just terrified me a little bit more than I think it should. I know that it is a natural process, but it's just something that has always made me very uneasy and brought a lot of anxiety. And so when I saw what was going on, my first instinct was to just like keep walking. And not because like I didn't care about the man, like that's not what I'm saying at all, but immediately I was scared. And then something amazing kind of started to happen. Also, I'm sorry if you guys can hear my neighbor next door. She's very young, she's playing piano, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. She's kind of having a blast over there. But like I said, my first instinct was to kind of like keep walking because I was scared. And then something amazing happened, and what happened was every one of the civilians that was watching this like truly just tragic incident all kind of started to like pray together and just send positive thoughts to this man. It wasn't like a religious like prayer circle at all. It was just more of like everybody was gathered around and very, very silent while these amazing doctors were trying to revive this man. It was amazing because the subway station, like where the part where I was completely silent. Nobody took out their phones, nobody was talking, nobody tried to make a spectacle out of this, and everybody was just completely silent, waiting to see what was about to happen. After somewhere between like 5 and 7 minutes, one of the paramedics decided to call it. They just couldn't revive the man anymore. They were in the middle of a subway station, so it's not like they were at a hospital where they had all their resources available. I don't know like all the medical terms, but one of the other paramedics started to put a tarp, like a protective tarp over the man. And at this point, people were just heartbroken. I think we were all, you know, like rooting for this lost innocent soul to be okay. And right as the tarp was being put over the man, it was about to cover his eyes when all of a sudden his eyes opened. His eyes were like completely glazed over, and he was obviously, you know, very out of it, not aware of anything that was going on or what had happened previously, which I really don't know what happened previously either. I walked up in the middle of everything that was going on. Everybody, you know, I'm sure we all wanted to applaud and cry, but I think as to not like freak out this man, everybody just like breathed this like huge sigh of relief all together. The paramedics immediately like brought the guy to sit up. They put him into a wheelchair that they had brought down, and they started to wheel him towards the exit. While the paramedics were walking away, you know, everybody was like thanking them so much and saying like, you were all so wonderful, like, you know, this was an incredible thing that we just witnessed. I mean, literally everybody thought that this man, we had just seen this man pass away, which we had, and then all of a sudden he just opened up his eyes. And so that was it. Afterwards, I, left the subway station, and so did everybody else, and I went on my day, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that we literally just witnessed somebody receive a second chance at their life. And so for the rest of the day, I felt like I was just kind of also like walking in a bit of a blur. And the reason why I'm making this video is not to tell a shocking story. It's not to get views. It's not to have clickbait. It's not to exploit somebody's life. But it is truly just to say that this was such a reminder for me that life is so incredibly precious, and you just never know when a day is going to be your last. It made me, for some reason, just think a lot about like reaching out to people that I haven't spoken to in a while and rekindling relationships that I really, really care about. We truly never know when our last day is going to be, and I don't mean to get so like morbid and so sad in this video, but it definitely is more of a serious video. And like I was saying, we truly never know when our last day is going to be, so, the saying, treat every day like it's your last, I truly do believe that. Make sure that the relationships that you have, you let them know that, these people matter to you. Treat everybody with kindness and compassion, and just don't take life for granted, because I think we do a lot. I know that I do a lot, and even when I'm at my lowest of lows, and part of my French, like, I feel really shitty about myself and what's going on around me, I think it's important to sometimes take a step back and say, you know what, I am alive, I have my health, and that's all that I need. That's just a little story that I wanted to tell you all today, about something that I experienced, and I always share my experiences here on this channel, but especially if I think that they can teach a lesson and help somebody and be a reminder to somebody. I'm not gonna do my typical outro because I don't think that this video is necessarily like a typical video for my channel, and I don't want to go from like being so calm and more reserved than I usually am, I guess, to being like very, Ruby and like doing my typical outro. So I am just going to leave it at this. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, afternoon, whenever you are watching this video. I hope that you all could take something from this, and I promise my next video will be a little bit more, something more typical to my channel. But until my next video, I love you all so much, and I guess that's it. Bye.